Quintillion. Some of you have heard me talk about the Quintilian Paradigm. Well, what in the blue blazes is that? Stick around, find out. Live, trance, and prosper. Hi, I'm Dr. David Phillips, and welcome to the Quintilian Paradigm. What's the Quintilian Paradigm? Well, the Quintilian Paradigm is essentially an orientation toward communication. Marcus Fabius Quintilianus lived from about 35 to 100 AD, or the Common Era, if you prefer. He was a Roman philosopher, a rhetorician. Essentially, he's considered the father of education, the father of rhetorical studies. What's rhetorical studies? That's the fancy name that we used to use for the study of communication. Rhetoric is verbiage communication. And Quintillion is the father of all that. Now, don't get me wrong, he's not really. I mean, we've been studying this stuff, communicating with other people and how to formulate ideas and to express them for thousands of years. Long before we even had writing, we were teaching each other how to influence others, make friends, influence people, the whole 9 yards. But Quintillion codified a number of things, and he also set out a formulaic approach. Not really a formula, but more of an orientation on how to teach people to communicate and what they need to do when they do so. He was big on values. Now, the guy really did have a lot of good things to say, and there's a number of expressions that you may have heard that you didn't realize come from Quintillion. For instance, he was a forward thinker. When we think of conservatives today in the world, some of these conservative cultures, we think about patriarchy and people being dicks to women, trying to keep them down and uneducated. Quintillion, he lived a long time ago, 2,000 years ago, and he believed women should be highly educated. That's right, even housewives. In fact, Quintillion said, and here it is, and I'll put the old thingy up here, I believe it'll be up here, that as regards parents, I should like to see them as highly educated as possible. And I do not restrict this remark to fathers alone. He believed that parents, because they are our first impact upon children, they're the first educators, that they needed to be highly educated so that they could teach their kids. And he didn't limit that to just men. He thought women should be highly educated too. That's important, okay? Because there are dumbasses out there, and I use that term loosely. It's really a technical term for a dumbass who believe that women shouldn't be educated, and they should be. Hey, why would you want to be around people who aren't educated? I don't know. Another thing that Quintillion said, with his homespun wisdom in a rhetorical expression sort of way, note that these are translated into English because he spoke Latin. He might have spoken Proto-Spanish as well. I don't know. He spoke Latin, but he was from Hispania, which is it's Spain today. Forbidden pleasures alone are loved immoderately. When lawful, they do not excite desire. So, if we forbid certain types of pleasure, sex, drugs, rock and roll, people are more likely to want it more. Marijuana use goes down when you legalize it. Who would have thunk it? Oh no, don't get me wrong, people still do it. Abuses to prostitutes go down when it's legal. So let's think about that. Those who wish to appear wise among fools, among the wise seem foolish. I'm not pointing any fingers here. I'm definitely not pointing there. And definitely not pointing here. But you all know people who maybe that fits. Men, even when alone, lighten their labors by song, however rude it may be. That's a good thing. You want your work to go well, go quickly, and it be enjoyable, sing along. And it's okay if you sing some rude songs. It's all right. You know, we excuse our sloth under the pretext of difficulty. Yeah, no, you know, I know you do. You all know folks who they'll say, "Oh, it's too difficult," but really they're just being lazy. Now, here's a really important one. The prosperous cannot easily form a right idea of misery. Yeah, in our day of the 1%ers, that really does seem to be the case. Those who have prosperity, those who have a lot of wealth, those who have a lot of happiness in their lives, they really can't identify with those who are poor and miserable. And so it's important to cultivate some sort of method for learning more about folks and helping them. But that's all well and good. Those are interesting little quotes. He's a quotable dude, our buddy Quintillion. But that's not the Quintilian paradigm. What is the Quintilian paradigm? Well, it's really quite straightforward. And I'm going to change, this is usually said as, the essence of rhetoric is a good man speaking well. But notice I changed that here. I changed it to, the essence of communication is a good man speaking well. That's the Quintilian paradigm right there. It's important. Why is it important? Because what he means by that, he means the essence of communication, a good man and speaking well. Okay, so if you want to be really good at communicating, if you want to get to the essence of communication, you need to speak well. Okay? So you need to learn techniques and skills. I teach social influence. I teach communication at the university. I'm an associate professor at National Zhengzhou University in Taipei. I've been there for well over 2.5 decades. And so I teach people how to communicate. And you need to learn how to speak well, but not just speak well. You need to know how to influence others. That is, to get folks to do what you want them to do. That's why I also teach social influence. Those of you familiar with my web pages know that I have video courses that you can get access to on social influence and waking hypnosis, among a whole bunch of other stuff. But that's that good man speaking well. Speaking well is one thing, the ability to speak. But some folks, when they study social influence or waking hypnosis, they kind of cheat it. They kind of think, I want to bend men's minds to my will. Okay, that's fine, I guess, Mr. Hitler. But what was that first part of the Quintilian paradigm? A good man speaking well, a good man. Now, when he says man, of course, he means mankind. He is not limiting it to just guys or folks with penises. He's talking about mankind. We already know remember that earlier quote about parents, that he's an equal opportunity educator. Good man. Speaking well. A good man is someone who communicates well to folks in order to get them to do certain things for their benefit. Okay. Learn how to speak well so that you can honestly help others. You're not just merely manipulating others for your own benefit. You are communicating honestly and openly with others in order to help them. Now, if you're a business person, yes, you need a profit. If you're a politician, yes, you need votes. If you're a religious person, yes, you might feel it's important to have more followers in your particular flavor of whatever it is. But the thing is, whatever you try to sell others or convince others to do needs to be for their benefit, not your own. You're not just there to manipulate others and to sell a lot of stuff and make quick profit. No, you're there to help others achieve their goals. You're there to help others get the product that suits their needs. And in the long run, that helps you. Quintillion wasn't just about learning to speak well. He was about ethically using communication to help others. He thought citizenship was very important. And that means the Quintilian Paradigm is something we really need to look at and embrace. Especially today in an era where the economy essentially tanked because business schools stopped teaching ethics. They thought, oh, we don't need to teach ethics. People understand that on their own. Our goal is just to teach about make the profit. And if you don't remind folks about ethical ideas or concepts, what happens is Machiavellian concepts. The ends justify the means. Profit starts throwing in there. And that's what happened. We saw it in the Enron scandal where manipulation occurred and people were taken advantage of because the company wanted profit above all else. We saw it in 2008 when the global economy said, hello, we're up here, let's go down here, ha ha ha, and crashed because businesses, banks particularly in that particular case, didn't have a strong sense of ethical responsibility either to their customers or to others, or to society. And that just sucks. They thought their only responsibility was to shareholders to maximize profit. And that's just, well, in social ethics, there's a particular term for that. That's a shitty idea. So Quintillion gives us a nice little phrase. It's catchy. The essence of communication is a good man speaking well. You can remember that. It's catchy. Okay, yeah, it's not that catchy, but it is simple to remember, and it's absolutely imperative that if you are an educator or a communicator, you just take that sucker, hold it in your heart, and remember, the essence of communication is a good man speaking well. It's absolutely important that you, yes, you, be that good man speaking well. You got that? I hope you found this useful, helpful, mildly entertaining. Please join us on Tuesdays when we offer hypnosis news and information, and sometimes rants. Sometimes I rant a lot. On Wednesdays, well, that's tips, tricks, and questions. I answer your questions, so feel free to comment below and let us know what you'd like to know more about, and maybe I'll make a video about your question. Be sure to join us on Thursdays, that's trance time, when we release a new video that guides you through a trance experience. Sometimes short, sometimes not so short, hopefully enjoyable to you. Once a month, we have a webinar or seminar in association with various other sites. It's an informative piece. It's usually much longer than these short video sections. Join us. If you attend the live webinar, that means you're with us interactively. You can ask questions and join in the conversation. Most importantly, be sure to click like on this video, and definitely something we really hope you do, click subscribe. Because if you subscribe, you can get updates on when we have new videos, either in the regular series or some of the pieces we just throw out there once in a while. So like, subscribe, comment, and feel free to visit our web pages. Lots of cool stuff there. But for now, this is Dr. Brian David Phillips saying, live trance and prosper. Bye-bye.